Alright, we're back. Day 2 of our NBA box score watching episode to day 2, whatever you want to call it. We had two very interesting games in the grand scheme of things. The Bucks played the Sixers and the Clippers played the Lakers. First, let's talk about the Bucks and the Sixers. Let's look at the box score here and let me talk about what I saw from the game. With Milwaukee, I saw that they still lack some athleticism. They just look old, some of them. Brook Lopez looks good, but it just feels they're a little older and less athletic. Not enough three-point shooters still, even though, today they shot pretty well. It feels, I don't know, something just feels off about Milwaukee. Obviously, they don't have Chris Middleton, which, you can't really judge him until they have him back, until how he looks back. But overall, the team just looks a little too old, a little too unathletic. But we'll see how they look when Chris gets back. Giannis looked like Giannis. He was great. He wasn't that aggressive, but he had 21, 13, and 8, 3 blocks, 1 steal, just 1 turnover. He was just Giannis. And we want to talk about Jrue Holiday, who shot horribly, and he is the biggest concern for them for me with how he looked in the playoffs last season. How inconsistent he is on offense. His offense, believe it or not, is the key for the Bucks. If he is a liability on the offensive end in the playoffs and overall, his defense obviously holds a big impact, but the offense is the X factor for them. And with Giroud playing like this, we'll see how his season goes. But he just looks, I don't know, he just looks worse. He just looks older. He just looked older last playoffs. Looked worse. We'll see. Even though last season, they talked about it on the broadcast, he had like 41% shooting from the three on like 5 attempts, which I didn't even know. And sounds kind of crazy to me, but I'll believe him. I maybe should check up on it. Let's see. 2021. Yeah, they were right. 5 threes, 41%. But I don't know, man. It just doesn't feel like it. It feels like this is the real Jrue Holiday, but. Maybe he'll figure it out. He'll be fine, I suppose. As for everything else with the Bucks, I feel like I talked about enough. Bobby Portis is still good off the bench. George Hill gave him some cool minutes. Jordan Voral maybe needs more time. Maybe needs to be more assertive, even though he looks assertive. Wesley Matthews hit the clutch 3-pointer to put him up 1. He did his job, so. Milwaukee is interesting. Milwaukee is going to be very intriguing during the season. I'm not sure if they have some trade pieces they could make for some trade, but it's very interesting it will be very interesting to watch them nonetheless. As for the Sixers, who a lot of people are high on, thanks to their off-season additions, their so-called depth and everything, I was not high on them. Have in my predictions. I don't know, man. Joel Embiid was atrocious today. He was simply horrible. He refused to speak to the press after the game. His second half was just incredibly tough, and yeah, he needs to play better. Obviously, he knows that. But the main separator between him and Giannis and Jokic and Steph and Luka is the playmaking. Joel is a great player, but he just does not feel like a top 5 player to me. He just feels like the playmaking's missing. I know he's a center. I know he's a bucket getter and everything, but when he gets doubled, he turns it over. His passing is not that good. His read on the game is not that good. Today his lack of hustle to get back on defense was atrocious. So there are things to watch with Joel Embiid like that. We'll see how his season goes, but I just feel like he's a complete product now, and I'm not sure if he'll get better overall. I'm not sure about that. As for Harden, he looks better. The question is if they really want him out there juggling the ball like that and just dribbling the air out of it. With Tyrese Maxey, who look, I know he has 15 points. Not a bad shooting night overall, but he looked invisible out there to me. When I watched the game, I didn't notice him much. He got, I think, a lot of his buckets on fast breaks, but he felt invisible there. He didn't have the ball much, it felt like, and it's rough for him. As for the bench, I really love DeAnthony Melton. who I think they should play a little more, especially during the regular season. They should not play PJ Tucker 40 minutes. I know he's a tough guy, he's a good defender and everything. The defense was great in this game. The defense was great in this game, even though the offense is very a little suspect also. But overall, the defense was a pretty good high level. But I still feel like they should play DeAnthony Melton more in the regular season, especially more than Daniel House, and they should play less PJ Tucker during game 2 of the NBA season. I still feel like they need to make a trade to be the real contenders, which they have the assets for. They can move Tobias Harris, maybe Matisse Thybulle, maybe somebody else, who knows. But if they're missing a move, Joel Embiid needs to be better, obviously. James Harden maybe needs to dribble the ball less, and play more DeAnthony Melton, in my opinion, and less PJ Tucker. But let's go on to the other game, which felt another Lakers game, another game that felt like preseason. It was such a weird game. John Wall played his first game, Kawhi played his first game back, and it felt so awkward, man. It was such a weird game. The atmosphere was nowhere. The game felt like a scrimmage at most of the points, like a preseason scrimmage or something like that. John Wall was out there shooting middies. He looked all right with that. His three didn't fall, but he looked right there. His speed looked very good, which is the most encouraging thing. He looked speedy. He looked he looked healthy. He played 24 minutes. He looked really good out there, I suppose. Ivica Zubac was the main, story for them. He was 14-17. He was impacting the game. 5 blocks. He was sensational, even though he had 4 turnovers. Paul George was just, plus 16. He defended well, but they didn't shoot the ball that well. They played a lot of ISO, a lot of ball in John Wall's and Kawhi's hands, which felt like they really wanted to just give them the ball the most and just let them feel it out during this first game. It felt like they knew the Lakers weren't that much of a threat, so they just let them feel it out, and they won. Not as comfortable as it felt, and it was a tight game in the end. But I don't know, it never felt like it to me. It felt like a preseason game. And Kawhi looked pretty good, even though in the first half they were a little rough with him. But he played 22 minutes, 6 of 12, 14.7 boards, 2 assists. He's gonna be great once he gets back into full shape, full regular season minutes. We'll see when it happens, if it's 20 games into the season, 25 games into the season. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully the Clippers are all healthy. I want to see them healthy and be them healthy. And that's about it, I guess, for the Clippers. Not much more else to talk about, since it really felt like a John Wall Kawhi scrimmage. First scrimmage back, not first game back, but the Lakers are maybe worse than we expected. Lonnie Walker took the most shots with 21, which is crazy, kinda. Even though we looked pretty alright, like Malik Monk 2.0 in a way, except Malik Monk was a better 3-point shooter. LeBron barely, felt his impact on this game. AD got injured once again. Hope his back is alright. He had a very scary fall. Hope it's nothing serious, just a tightness. Maybe miss one game. Maybe he's fine. I'm not sure. And their backcourt, Russ 0 for 11, but Bad Beth 1 for 7. They were good on the defensive end, but they were horrible on the offensive end, and they need some offense from the backcourt. They just can't have no offense on the backcourt side, especially with John Wall out there going pretty crazy when you think about it. He made 7 shots, which is way more than anyone from the backcourt. Kendrick Nunn 0 for 7, minus 18. The Lakers might be worse than last year. They just might as well be, honestly, because the roster does not fit. They might have gotten younger and more athletic, but they have no shooters, no real shooters, and they don't look any bothered. They just look. They look like they know they're bad. They just look like they know they're bad. Maybe they can get the Pelicans, Wembanyama. We'll see. I don't know. And I want to show one last thing from this game, which is this play. I have it on Twitter. I'm not gonna play the sound, but this is a possession late in the game. Down 4, Russ on the ball, and everyone's blaming. A lot of people are saying, "What the hell is Russ doing?" Which it's obvious. He is not confident in his shot. He gets that, but look at Anthony Davis. Look at them. Look at them. They're not moving. They're standing still. Anthony Davis has John Wall on him. Tell me, why can't he move in? Why does he not go in? It's crazy to me. Why do you not move off ball? Just post up John Wall or get in front of him. You can run there. You have 5 more seconds to go. You can run straight to the basket. Obviously, AD got hurt. Maybe that's the reason. But it felt like it's not in the game plan, and it ends in this. Yeah, I mean, not much more to say really. Not much more to say really, and with that said, I guess that's it for today since we had these two games. The Lakers might be another comedy show this year. Tomorrow we have some banger games with Toronto, Brooklyn, Boston, Miami should be good, and my Warriors against Denver, which I can't wait to watch. And I'll talk to you tomorrow with another box score watching episode, baby.